Okay, so 1, 2, 3. We are starting. Everything should be working. Hello, Hindi.
Hello, Mariana.
Thank you so much. This is something that I've been interested about, is that every time you do like this and you put on Google Street View, it doesn't really on Google Maps, it doesn't show the name Palestine.
Yes. Yeah. That's true.
Because the country that owns Google doesn't recognize Palestine.
Yes, it's true, and it has lots of Google, Facebook, Instagram, and most of the social media. Israel has a big influence in the owners of those social media. Hence, we don't have Palestine recognized on the maps, or, for example, we have lots of restricted. Facebook, for example, keeps banning certain Palestinian activists from sharing stuff, or keeps deleting accounts, deleting pages, and we've seen it during the last war of Gaza. So it's always the question. It's always the same issue. We're not recognizing Google Maps. There's big calls and big campaigns for Google to recognize and add Palestine as state, and add the name of Palestine in the maps. And never happened. No, nothing.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. You can see all the names of the settlements. This is Palestinian villages as well. But you see the Israeli settlements are very visible, more than the Palestinian villages. Gaza's here, and we are here.
The occupied villages are visible, the names, and the Palestinian are not visible.
Yeah.
So there are other territories around here that are not showing up right now.
Yeah, exactly. For example, Nalin is not showing, Al-Media is not showing, lots of villages are not showing.
Wow.
Yeah, but actually, just to let you know that you see that there is two different lines here. This is one line and there's another line.
Yeah, I see.
So, why? Because this is the UN partition plan. This is the inner, the one closer to Israel, is what was supposed to be. But Israel came and annexed and took everything and built a wall here. So, for example, I'll just give you an example. My family owned a land. Here we call it the food basket of the village. My family owned like olive trees and land here. We've lost it all. Like literally, my family owned nothing except their house, just because we lost everything here. Could Israel build the wall here? Yes, they could. At the borders? Yes, they could. But they haven't. And this is not only in this village, it's everywhere all around the West Bank.
They just did it a little bit further, so they could just take a little bit more.
Yes.
Come on.
My family owned the house. Like, I was born and I grew up in the same house. I was born in the house. My father built this house
You were born in the house?
No, I was. No, I mean, I've always
Since
lived.
a babe.
Yes, I think most of.
Until what age?
Until 30, but I'm trying to remember how many of my brothers were born in that house. Oh, I can't remember, but I
How
was
many do
most
you
of
have?
us. We're a lot.
Tell me.
We're 10. We're 6 boys and 4 girls.
Oh my God. Is
Big
that
family.
common?
A little bit over the normal. Yeah, even during my parents' time, it's a little bit too much. No, it's not easy. I mean, we never, yes, we had lots of fights, brothers and sisters fight, it's tough and so on. But you're as well protected, kind of, having lots of brothers and sisters, you're protected. I wasn't the most spoiled, as I wasn't the last one, neither the first one, the most powerful, but it's in between, it's balanced actually.
You think it's like that in your family? The oldest one is the more powerful, and the youngest one is the spoiled.
For
Yeah.
Sure. It's in all families actually. My mother have always been busy with the kids and life and the house. My father have been always busy providing. So actually, it's really interesting. Actually, you create your own rules, like There's always rules that they're created that the family, like the kids, will take care of each other and so on. Definitely difficult because, you know, as a child you need certain attention, you need certain needs, and those were never met.
And I'm going to ask you with the same thing that I'm just going to check it. The same thing that your aunt and uncle asks you. Do you see yourself coming back at
No.
any point?
No, I don't.
Not even like going there to die, like as an old person, or
No.
no?
I mean, for me, knowing myself now, I mean, I don't know what about later.
Of course, I
But,
want to know about now.
No,
Like,
I don't really actually know. I don't. No, I don't feel I need to go back. I don't have the. I don't want to go live there. For many reasons. For the very not complicated, for the very difficult political situation. For the very difficult society as well, complications. And I feel myself here. I'm more here now, so I am. I don't know. I have a life here actually. So.
But do you miss it?
For example, here when you become close to someone, like they immediately invite you to their houses and they will make like a massive meal. Sadly speaking, the amount of food you throw is more than the amount of food people eat. And the same in the Middle East, like when, for example, like in Palestine, precisely when you go to someone's house, they will cook the best for you. And it has to always be a very complicated dish that takes like at least 6 hours to make.
And 6 hours to show you that they care about you and that they want to provide.
It's true.
It's kind of, I totally understand that because like in my family it's like that.
Yes.
You see, this is how you give love to people, is by giving them food.
Absolutely, food. Absolutely.
It's interesting that.
Yeah, no, I do miss it. And the second part, which is like the political connection to Palestine, I feel I don't feel I can do anything there, or not necessarily. I mean, I feel more I can do more here, I would say,
than being there for the
cause.
For the cause.
Yeah. I was born in 1983, and 1985 we have the first Intifada. So I was a child, but I do remember until today when we hear the sirens, the sirens of the Israeli army, and them speaking on the loudspeakers for people to stay in the house as it's a curfew. Anyone will go in the street will be punished. I still hear it until today. I was 87, the first Intifada, or 86. I was like a couple of years. I remember my mother taking the knives, the house knives, rolls them in, like puts them in plastic bags with many of them, cover them, and actually dig a hole and put them under the lemon tree. We had a lemon tree in front of the house to hide them because they were like white weapon, or where people were not allowed to have knives in their houses.
Then it could be used as an excuse to arrest.
Yeah, I remember as well. Like you were not allowed to have a cassette that has any revolutionary music. You were not allowed to have any political books, any brochures, any spray paint.
It's a dictatorship.
Yeah. It's the first Intifada was a tough one. For example, I've done lots of political tour guiding. Whenever we have some foreigner delegations, we've went to Hebron. Hebron is really well known as a tough city. The chances of you, the chances of you being arrested, shot, killed while you're living in Palestine are really high, because any soldier in a bad mood can just simply kill you and then goes away with no punishment, because who you will complain to because your persecutor and your judge are the same. So, and the killer is one. So basically, yes, yes, you do feel unsafe in Palestine. It's not, but then you get used to it. Becomes a routine. Becomes, what can I do?
You learn to accept it.
Yeah, you learn to accept it, exactly, and you try to protect yourself as much as possible, but as well, and that's the option. You either say, I will not absolutely be part of any political issue. I will just choose the job that is like 5 minutes away from my house, and I don't want to go, for example, to Jericho, to the Dead Sea, that we don't control anyways, but we don't have a sea, to be precise. Or I will not go to Bethlehem, to whatever. So your movement, you're very strict. Your right to movement is very strict.
And if you, but the thing is that even if you choose that, I would say, even if you choose to not be evolved in any way, it can, you're still in danger.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you are still in.
Like I'm like, there is like, I'm sure hundreds of cases of people who got killed and they have nothing to do with anything. Like they've never even done any political activism. Nothing whatsoever. We don't, I personally, I'm gonna talk about myself because I cannot talk about other people.
Of course.
I've never, for example, planned anything for the future, because I've never felt like I will live, like, for example, until 70 or whatever. Like, honestly.
When you were there.
When I was there. I've never planned anything. Like, for example, I've never imagined when I'm 70 what I want to be or what I want to do or what I want to have. Never. Or like 50 or 60.
You are not thinking about that.
No.
When you make your decisions. You just make decisions for the present.
Yeah. And we have a really like common saying, tomorrow is another day. Like in the sense of, we don't know if we will live or die tomorrow. So kind of all your future plans are really kind of limited. Yes, you study, you go to university, but I've never, for example, managed to think about like really long future plans, what I want to be. Or I never imagined myself on like how old I will get. Don't know. Like I've always felt like I will actually live, I will never live long.
Yeah, that is fucking violent, actually. I mean, it's a very disturbing thought. And also this, I think, sometimes I think about that when I think about Palestine. And how do you have the strength to build anything if it can just be destroyed?
Yeah.
In any way, build a cause, build a family, build a house, build a business, build the happiness, be connected, attached, be active.
Yeah.
I mean, why? If it's just going to, it's such a just never-ending trauma.
Yeah, for sure. And but that's the thing. At the same time, you cannot lose hope.
No,
because I
and the
agree.
will to fight.
But yeah, exactly. But I agree with you. But that's the resilience part. I agree with you. Like, why would I do that? I consider the world as home. Like, for me, I don't believe we should have states or borders. I think we should all be free. To go anywhere, yes. To go, I wanted to go tomorrow. I wanted to go, I don't know, to Cuba. I should just go and live in Cuba. I know it's not realistic. It's not doable. But
But
the
why
word
though? It could actually.
Why? Because of states, because of power, because of the 1% and the 99%, because of everything, because of the injustice in the world, actually. Because we are always being told that there is a monster, that they will come and occupy or take our places because of the injustice. I mean, if we live in a just world where we're all considered one, without any color, without any race, without any religion or whatever, we're just humans, I think we could easily manage to live all over the world. But we're not. We have the power of the religions, we have the power of the money holders, we have the power of the politicians, we have the power of the color, and that's what divides us, and that's what makes us not being able to just live in an open world and we call it home. I think, personally.
Yeah, there is this big obsession with the property.
Yeah.
And the frontiers are that.
Yeah.
It's maintaining property.
Yes. Yes. Home is a place that you worry a lot about. Home is when you always go to the news and watch that precise place. You know, like for example, I'll talk about this case. I will talk about Palestine. Home is whenever there is an Israeli attack on Palestinians, like the last attack on Gaza. It's like where you watch the news day and night. You don't sleep. You're in total stress. You are, I don't know how to say it in English even, it's like you feel your heart is too small, you know, it's like it's so shrinking, it's so painful that you see, I see injustice everywhere and I feel sad about it, you know, like I feel like I'm a total supporter of the Black Lives Matter, you know, like wherever you see injustice, you feel sad about it, and that's normal because, you know, we're humans and we refuse the extreme use of power by certain powerful regimes. I feel sad about what's happening in Syria. I feel extremely sad about what's happening in Yemen and everywhere, not only in the Arab world, but as well anywhere. And it doesn't have to be a Muslim country or a non-Muslim country, you know. It's I feel sad about those places, but I feel more like you feel like this, like your heart is shrinking, you feel powerless and so on when I see the news about Palestine. And even with the current, you know, these days as well, you know, we spoke about it earlier before we started the recording. We don't, as Palestinians, it's like, it's I think, I don't know if it's like, I think it's very sad to be a Palestinian. It's like really tough because you have a very brutal occupation that is supported by
the world.
The world, mainly the government, the system, and you have, but you have as well a very corrupted, oppressive Palestinian authority that it's a tool of the Israeli occupation. We have a government that is funded and trained to protect the interest of Israel and to protect its own interests. They're corrupted, their bank accounts are full. They will need to protect that status quo. They need to protect themselves. And so we're left alone, basically. Yes, we've always feel that we're left alone. And I think that's really my connection to Palestine, because it's the longest occupation in our current history. We've been occupied since 1948 and even before, and it's still ongoing. And you know, it's like, for me, it's like an ethnic cleansing of an indigenous people that kept going on for the last more than 70 years. So I think I'm very connected to the cause, to the political, and because I'm from there, because my family are there, because my friends are there, I speak the same language, I have memories there, and I feel I'm more actually connected to that place. And that's why I call it home. But for now I'm happy here. I consider it home. I like it. I feel, you know, like, yes, it's, you know, it's true, you know, home is where your heart beats. Yes, fine, it's true. But as well, home is where memories, where your family are, with your, you know, people that they speak your language and your accent and the village accent and the stupid jokes. I think home is where, like, you have the stupid WhatsApp groups from, like, I have like 3 or 4, like some for friends, some for family, close family, second level family, my cousins and brothers, my sisters and brothers, I don't know what, like I have like a couple of them. It's like, this is home. Home is the food. Home is certain music and faces that you know. Yeah.
It was beautiful.